Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button. There it is, so you don't miss any of our football content this season. It has been, if I might say, fantastic. Football season's here. There's only one place to go for tickets, and that is Game Time. You know I love Game Time. They have a new feature called Game Time Picks, makes getting tickets for your favorite live events easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You want to go to a football game or a concert? Just click on the event you want to attend, and Game Time gives you a seat preview and offers you the super deal. So I get the best bang for my buck, and that's what I'm looking for. Game Time also has the lowest price guarantee, or they'll credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time, right? Download the Game Time app. Doesn't take long. Create an account. Use my code, the redeem code, Colin, C-O-L-I-N, for $20 off your first purchase. C-O-L-I-N. Terms apply. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. So a shame on me. I took Justin Fields over Dak and Derek Carr over Patrick Mahomes in my Blazing Five. Sometimes I outthink the room. I tend to bet numbers over teams. But, I was watching tonight. Two thoughts. This had a real chess checkers feel to it as Kansas City beats New Orleans and controls the game. I mean, in the first half, they had a 15 first downs to 5. Time of possession was double, 280 yards, and the Saints could barely move it. But it was really interesting. I remember years ago, I was with a friend. I was watching the Phoenix Suns Chicago Bulls finals, Barkley against Jordan. And I was talking to a friend of mine. She was a really good women's basketball player. And we were talking about Jordan. And Jordan was 6'6", wasn't the best shooter or ball handler as a guard in the NBA, but he just made things look so easy. And that's what great players do. You watch Shohei Ohtani, and everything looks kind of easy, and you never see them strained. Watching Derek Carr struggle mightily, just everything seems hard. Troy Aikman at one point was being very kind as he underthrew another deep ball, saying, well, he threw it as far as he could. Everything with Mahomes is it's effortless. Mechanics are solid. You would think watching him that he's a little loose because Aaron Rodgers can be a little loose. He's really not. His mechanics are excellent. He's always got his feet and his hips right. It's just easy. And it's part of when you're watching a college athlete. Shedeur Sanders has this at Colorado where he's effortlessly accurate. He can be moving left, right, forward, back, just any platform. Shedeur Sanders it's easy. Movement's easy. Accuracy's easy. To me, Quinn Ewers now at Texas has been hurt a couple times. That worries me. Carson Beck, Cam Ward's good but small. You watch Shedeur Sanders and you're like, it's just, he just moves and throws without great effort. And that's what Mahomes does. And it was a great contrast to watch Mahomes effortlessly and Derek Carr straining on anything that was more than 10 yards for Derek Carr. Seemed like it was hard. Also, a complete coaching mismatch. Dennis Allen, second job, nothing creative, nothing clever, nothing really thoughtful, and everything Kansas City does. It was a Monday Night Football game. Taylor Swift was there. Travis Kelce, what a shock. He suddenly was productive. But it was like they were kind of showing off for Monday Night Football. Andy Reid, how many quick little clever flips did Kansas City have tonight? 5, 6? That's what it felt like to me. They were showing off. And, that's what great teams do. The Warriors in their run, had a little, sometimes excessive flair to put a stamp on it. And I felt like Kansas City tonight, they knew they were on Monday Night Football. They knew the audience with Taylor Swift would be large. And they played the TV a little bit. And it's not like they got away with it. Outside of a kind of a bad bounce, which Colin Saunders of New Orleans, a former high school running back, now a defensive lineman, ran up the field and got the Saints in good field position. They didn't do anything. Never made Kansas City's defense think. Juju Smith-Schuster, playoff productive for the Chiefs. They ship him to New England. He disappears. They bring him back. I think he had like 6, 7 catches tonight. So they're just dealing at a different level between Reed and Mahomes, smarter, more effortless. You're watching. This is the best team easily in the league right now. I don't. I mean, I think the Ravens sometimes are more explosive offensively. They don't stack up defensively. And I thought tonight, when New Orleans isn't a terrible team. I mean, Dennis Allen's a bottom third coach, and Derek Carr. For years and years, we kind of thought Derek Carr was kind of in that Kirk Cousins mode. Kirk Cousins is a completely different player than Derek Carr. And my bad if I ever compared the two. But, Kirk this year proving once again, he and Dak, you can depend on him, high IQ in big spots, regardless of how they play. You kind of trust them in some big spots if the game's close late. I do. Just smart guys who can make plays. Derek Carr is just arm strength, inability to move. Everything looks difficult. Just a different class watching tonight. God, I wrote down some numbers here at the end of the game. 460 yards for the Chiefs, 200 for the Saints, almost doubled the first downs, almost doubled the time of possession. Ugly. And God, what am I doing? Taking Dennis Allen over Andy Reid and Derek Carr over Mahomes. I do think as we go into week 6 of the NFL, you're starting to see some bigger spreads, some of the bigger spreads. I don't think there are a lot of teams now that I look at and don't at least have a feel for them. I mean, I think one of the harder teams for me to get my arms around is the Arizona Cardinals. Yesterday, I thought they would be really tough on San Francisco, and they were, but I thought they would be really tough at home against Washington and were not competitive. Arizona to me, and I think this is a lot of Kyler Murray's personality, boy, they can be really tough. Beat themselves, inconsistent, but man, Arizona week to week can be really tough. Buffalo has a little bit of that feel where I'm not quite sure what I'm getting. A lot of it depends on who's healthy and who's not. Buffalo and Arizona, and I think Buffalo's a better team, better organization, top to bottom. Those two teams, I sit and watch, and I get a feel for them by the end of the first quarter. What am I going to get? Josh Allen wasn't his day. You could sense it. Didn't have a slot receiver, was off. It was on the road. Got banged up later. Buffalo, I think, is the best team. I picked them to win their division. In fact, in the AFC right now, I had Buffalo, Kansas City, Houston, and Baltimore winning their division. So I'm right there. Atlanta is good. Denver's the surprise team. I think we got that right. Washington, I thought would be one of the surprise teams. I have no feel for the NFC West at all. I think the Rams are injury plagued. San Francisco's peaked. Seattle's got a good roster, but it's Geno Smith. I think Arizona week to week can be just a scintillating team. Had a chance to win at Buffalo, gave them fits early, beat San Francisco. They're one of the few teams I can't track. I'm not sure. But I also think we talked about this a few years ago. There was a very good quarterback class that had Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow and Herbert and Tua. They hit in a lot of guys. Um, I think this quarterback class, Caleb and Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix all look like they can play. Now, New England's offensive line is so bad and they're so inept offensively. Do you play Drake May? Do you not? I'm okay with either. I don't have a strong feeling. Michael Penix, I think, will be good, but it does look like Bo, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams can play. That's 3 hits. And I think Penix will eventually, he may not play until next year. He may not play for 2 years, but I think he can play if he stays healthy. And J.J. McCarthy, you cross your fingers if he can beat out Sam Darnold. But the more of these guys that hit, the better football is. Because you're watching New Orleans tonight. I mean, Kansas City made that game watchable. How's Miami without Tua? It's hard to watch. Seattle has all that talent. They're a tough watch depending on the weekend. Um, the more quarterbacks hit, the better. I think it's also interesting is, we kind of looked at this quarterback class as this one good, next year not good. But I'll tell you, Shedeur Sanders can kind of drive me crazy with some of the vanity and ego stuff. But uh, my guess is Colorado. I feel somewhat strongly about this with Quinn Ewers at Texas getting injured again. I think Colorado's going to have the top two players picked in the draft. I think Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders are going to go 1-2 in the draft. So, and I think they both have a chance to be big time stars. Travis Hunter's going to be a star if he stays healthy, be a big time star. But Kansas City rolls tonight, not a big surprise. And now for the next segment, halftime speech brought to you by our friends at Scott's Lawn Care. My halftime speech would be for Matt Stafford. You got to be patient. You're 1-4. You don't have Cooper Kupp. You don't have Puka Nakua. Musical chairs on the offensive line. The NFC West, by the way, is completely up for grabs. San Francisco without Christian McCaffrey is sputtering. Arizona's inconsistent. Seattle's got Geno Smith. Enjoy your bye week. Give your lawn a boost with Scott's Turf Builder with Winter Guard. Put your grass on the road to recovery from damage caused by the summer heat. Feed your lawn Scott's Turf Builder this fall to build strong, deep grass roots for a better lawn next spring. Pick up a bag of Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard today. Feed your lawn. Feed it. And tonight was also a reminder is you can't overreact to the first couple of weeks. The Saints have scored 49 points in the last 3 weeks. Remember the first 2 weeks? They looked unbelievable up and down the field. I mean, Clint Kubiak, he's the next Shanahan. They did nothing creative at all tonight. I mean, it just looked like they mailed it in. They weren't even ready to play in the first quarter. It looked like they weren't prepared. So, New York Giants looked terrible first week. I think that's a real football team. Washington really struggled in the opening week, crushed people since. Go look at Caleb Williams' first 10 quarters and his last 10 quarters. First 10 quarters, scary. Last 10 quarters, he's a bona fide big-time player. Bo Nix, first couple games. Bo Nix, last couple games. So, we've said this before, is it's really hard to judge the first 2 weeks of the season anymore because nobody plays any of the starters in the preseason. So you're kind of guessing. But I kind of feel like outside of Buffalo and Arizona, and I both think they have really, really good Sundays, I kind of feel like I have a little bit of track on teams. I'm officially now off New Orleans, but I had Atlanta winning the division anyway. New Orleans fooled me for 2 weeks. Giants, I kind of sold early after their opening week. I think they're a good football team. I don't think I'm overreacting. They have good O-line play, good D-line play, excellent coach. Quarterback doesn't turn it over. And Malik Neighbors comes back. A pretty good football team. The Kansas City Chiefs, for the record, have had at least a 5-game winning streak for the last 12 years. And just look in their division, Reed and Mahomes, because there's only one thing that really lasts in the NFL. The legendary coach and the legendary quarterback playing together. Walsh, Montana, Belichick, Brady, Reed, Mahomes. Look at the division since Andy Reid arrived in Kansas City. The Chargers have gone through Anthony Lynn. They've gone through Brandon Staley. Now they're on Jim Harbaugh. The Raiders have gone through countless coaches. Denver now is on Sean Payton and Bo Nix. And that's one of the advantages. That's what Brady and Belichick did for years. Remember that? How many coaches did the Jets have? Did the Miami Dolphins have? Is that you have such an information advantage, momentum and cultural advantage. Once you get the right coach, like Houston now, DeMeco Ryans and CJ Stroud, you could see them running together for 8 to 10 years. The rest of these teams in your division are flying through GMs, new scouting departments. There's just no momentum. That's why if you get the right coach in this league and the right quarterback, it just gets better and easier and easier. We may not like Sean McDermott's, weekend, but how many, 4 or 5 division titles in a row? The Jets are going to run through another coach, probably. New England starting over with Jared Mayo and Drake May. Miami, McDaniel will probably stay. Tua comes back, but don't you have to draft another quarterback? It's such an advantage once you get the legendary coach and the star quarterback. It's not that you just have more talent. You just have more institutional knowledge and momentum, cultural momentum. You don't have to keep teaching new players over and over. Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, Mahomes, couple of the offensive linemen. Now these secondary guys, Bolton, the linebacker, these guys become teachers for you. They're spreading the gospel. They're spreading the message. You're not running through. I mean, ask yourself this: if you get a new boss at work or you take a new job, it takes you six months. Every job I've ever had, it takes me 6 months to catch up. Where am I comfortable? Who am I comfortable with? It's exhausting. It's such an advantage to be Kansas City right in their division. It just, it's they have separated. I thought tonight they've just separated from everybody else.